what's up?
Hey, how's it going?
Okay then. So, here we go. This is going to be a whole bunch of just kind of like, here we go! Are you ready?
Yeah, basically. That's the start of all legends.
We are doing an unnamed podcast.
Yeah.
Because Jacob decided that we should name it in the middle of our very first podcast streaming.
That's true.
Well, not streaming, because it's already going to be pre-recorded.
Right. This is not live. Well, it might be live if you're somehow like a time traveler or something.
That sounds like fun!
That's not how live works anyway.
No. I don't think time travel could ever work, because you would want to go back and change something, but then if you change something in your life, then why would you ever need to, then you might not ever create time travel, and then you're stuck in the past.
Yeah, you could. Depends on like which version of time travel you'd think about, though. Like there's like the split timelines kind of stuff, or there's the
oh yeah, Back
like,
to the Future.
Yeah, kind of like Back to the Future assumes it's all one. It's not a split. That's why he starts to disappear, because in like.
But he did create two timelines. Remember, because they had like this huge little like. By the way, this is not a podcast where we discuss films, but. Anyways, back to what I was saying. Because he was saying, well, you went back in time and you changed this, so now it's splitting into a new timeline.
I've actually never seen the show.
Oh.
Can you
well,
believe
for
that?
one, it's a movie.
Well, that too.
When he's doing something in the past or the future or something in the past or something like that, when he goes back to his normal time, it's like a completely different version. I think it's in the second or third one. It's a completely different version. He's like, they went into a different, something in the past changed, was split into a new future. So then when you jumped back into the future, you went into a different completely future instead of the one that you originally were in.
Okay.
Or something like that. It was weird. Anyway, so back to the podcast.
Right.
So, what we will be doing on this podcast is talking on different situations and kind of like unsaid rules, etiquette, and stuff like that. So for today's podcast, we will be talking about unsaid rules and etiquette when driving or riding with someone.
Right, like down the highway.
Yeah, down the highway, on the back roads, in the parking lot.
Now, we both have very different driving backgrounds, don't we? So
I'm a passenger.
You're more of a gentle commuter. I'm more of a hoonigan street racer type, but always within the speed limit.
You can keep in mind that I'm not quite as gentle anymore because I have to drive in California.
Oh, so you're much more assertive now.
To an extent.
Do you use your horn?
To an extent. Like, you're not getting in front of me now. In Georgia, I may have let you go in front of me. Not now. There's too much traffic. I gotta get where I need to go. But, the only thing when we talk about driving kind of stuff, is to kind of avoid, like, laws. They're already there. They're not necessarily unsaid. They're there, you just don't know them.
Okay. So, like, don't do...
Like, use your blinker. Well, that's an actual law. You're supposed to use your blinker.
Yeah, well, I mean...
That's on your driving test.
I think that's an unspoken law, is follow the law.
But, I think also, which would be kind of interesting, especially with driving, we should do, is not only is it unsaid, but maybe certain things that should be a law.
Right. Like, if you're going 5 under, you should be able to, like, shoot their tires out.
Well, no, not quite to that extent.
That's not a law. That's a GTA law.
5 miles under the speed limit is an unsaid law of not to do.
Because you're not going with the flow of traffic. You are an obstacle. You're no longer part of the river. Slower traffic, keep right. That's a spoken law. They post signs that say that.
Yeah. No, I can't. The 5 under the speed limit, and then it's the single lane. You can't even get around them.
Oh, yeah.
Because I remember, it makes me think about when I was in Georgia, and I would go home from campus. By the way, I met Jacob at school in college.
Oh, yeah.
We are now all the way across the country. Mm-hmm. So we are doing our podcast weirdly. I don't know how to describe it.
It's not that weird. This is a normal thing. A lot of people do, like, far off podcasts.
So, yeah. So we are Not in the same room. But
Nope.
I am totally video chatting with him so I can see him.
I'm East Coast.
Just so you guys feel honored, he made sure he looked super nice for you guys, even though it's a podcast.
Yep.
He, did his hair, he's wearing a nice clothes.
Well, I slept in this.
That or he's looking nice for me. I don't know.
Nah, I literally woke up like this.
So when I drive back from school back home, there's this huge section where it's just one lane. And then you had truck drivers on it on top of that. So you're like, oh, come on, I know you're a semi, you can't go too fast, but you can at least go the speed limit. And there's no passing lanes for miles. Just,
Yeah, that's pretty tough. And then it's like, if you have a low enough car, you can do where you kind of go in between them, but you still have to get around the wheels, I guess. Like Fast and the Furious, you still gotta get around them. That doesn't really work. Don't do that, kids.
Do it. No, I'm just kidding. No, don't do it. Don't do it. I don't think is there even a car that's low enough that you can get underneath the semi with that? Oh yeah, because they do it. Yeah, you're right. They do it in the Fast and Furious. It's like the sports car. I'm sorry. If you have a sports car that's low enough to do that, I mean, at least for me, I would not be risking that expensive sports car.
Yeah, but you know how to drive it. You're a pro.
Yeah, I don't know how to drive it, so
you need to practice.
And I won't even have experience. I won't even be able to practice going super fast because I live in California. There's a stop sign, a stoplight every few feet.
I see. That's why you gotta go out of town, go race out in the desert.
Yeah. But then, those cars are low. You're gonna hit, pots. I don't want to damage my car, get it all filthy by being in the desert.
Yeah, I guess.
And then also, the speed limits here are so slow. Oh, God,
yeah.
So slow.
But they got, private tracks and stuff. You can go to a drag race.
That's true, I could do that. I would have to find how. But that would be in the way future, or near future, when I get a nice, fast car.
Come on, you can take your Chevy.
Take my Chevy. Yeah, I have turbo!
Nice.
It revs up. That's what the guy was saying when I got it. He was like, I was like, oh, this one has turbo. He's like, yeah. So, when you, step on the gas and it, kind of revs up, that's the turbo activating. I'm kind of like, I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know enough about cars.
Do you want to know what a turbocharger is? I could tell you all about them. I love them. I have one, too.
We won't bore our podcast listeners.
Oh, okay.
Or bore me.
Oh, okay, I see. So it's not that you don't know, it's that you don't care to know.
Unsaid rule about driving cars. I don't care.
Okay. Next topic.
I carry to an extent, but
it's basically a little compressor that compresses your air and squeezes it real tight so you can pack more air, and then you can throw more fuel in there and then make a bigger explosion.
I feel like you have told me that before, because that sounds very familiar. And the terminology sounds very familiar, so I think you're the one that told me it.
Very possibly.
Probably when you were in my car and I was talking about the turbo. I think that's probably when you told me.
Very possibly.
You came out to visit me a couple of years ago.
That's true. Yep, went all the way out.
So long.
Stood in the
you
Pacific.
Haven't seen me.
No, it's been a while.
I know, I haven't gone there either. Maybe I'll come for Bear Stock.
Oh, come for Bear Stock.
If they have a good band playing.
Right.
You know they have an after party for Bear Stock now. Did you know that?
There's probably a lot of after parties for Bear Stock.
No, the school legit does an after, it's an after hours party. The school does it. You have to have a student ID, and you can bring 2 guests or something like that.
Nice.
So you have to have a student ID or be with a guest. And I'm all kind of I think I have my Mercer ID somewhere.
I could probably get you in. I got connections.
I'd be the 2 you and then me would be the 2 guests for that person. We kind of already talked on a little bit of unsaid driving, or
right.
We'll also be doing when riding passenger or backseat, I guess, too.
Yeah. Don't kick the driver's seat. I got one. One time I was driving, and I won't name this person, but I'm very, very close to this person.
Oh, it's me!
No, it's not you. It wasn't you. No, it's somebody else.
I was thinking about the time that you stalled. I was like, oh, it's me.
No. I was driving, and I noticed something's tugging, on my stomach, my lap belt. It's pulling, and I'm like, what is pulling? And I reach down, and I follow it, and this passenger is behind me and has his foot on my seatbelt. Now, that's a bad seatbelt placement, I think.
Yeah, I can see that.
But the foot was down there, and I was like, hey. And I was like, can you just, stop putting your foot on my seatbelt? It's really, messing with me. He was like, okay. He's like, I'm not doing it. And I was like, you are doing it. And so I started, slapping his foot every time he did it. And I was like, you're doing it. Like right now.
No, that's true. That's an unsaid thing. Don't put your foot on the person, especially the person who's driving, seatbelt.
In his defense, it was honestly a poor place to put the seatbelt. If you're able to do that, like they should have found that in quality. Just put a little plate there or something, so you can rest your foot on the plate instead.
Yeah, that makes sense. You know, I don't remember where it was at, but you know, I think, what Carl was in, but I think that's happened to me before. And the person that was sitting behind me was a kid, if I remember correctly. Now, I don't know which kid, because I've had a lot of kids that come in through my life.
You've had a lot of kids.
Not me, but like, I have 3 younger brothers, and then my half-brother who's younger than me, he's got 2 sisters. And so at one point we were like this huge, like we were starting a baseball team basically.
Nice.
When my dad and his mom was together, we basically had like a baseball team going on here. So I don't know which kid it was, and then also my mom was dating someone he had 2 kids. So it's when your parents are divorced and you're the oldest, you tend to have lots of kids that come in through your life. So I don't know which kid it was. It might not even have been any of them. It might have just been, there's a lot of kids, like, just in family in general. Like,
right.
You know, I have a lot of cousins. I have a lot of little cousins. So I don't know who it was. But I remember that. Like, they were putting their feet on the back on my seatbelt. I wasn't driving, though. I was on the passenger side in the front.
Oh, I gotcha.
But I just was like, I remember that. I was like, please stop, like, putting your foot on my seatbelt. Stop tugging on it.
Right.
Like, that's not a comfortable feeling to have it, like, get, like, squeezed in the middle.
That's annoying. It's like, hey, that's why, like, your bladder's there, all your intestines, stuff you don't want to think about, and now there's a lot of pressure on them.
Yeah. So, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that she didn't say your unsaid rule. If the person stalls, don't mention it.
Nah, it's whatever. You just go, oh, well. Oh, darn. Or you just say, oh, yeah, it's a really good, really tight racing clutch.
The last 2 times that you've stalled in your, like, many, many years, I think were both with me in the car.
No, the last 2 times I stalled were like, I stalled last week. It happens. So you get a little too wild and you need to, I need to get better tires, because then that's going to make them a lot more sticky. I can slip it better.
You stalled when one of the times you came and visited me when I was still living in Georgia. I remember you stalling then. Then that was actually kind of interesting because you stayed with me, and like I would go to work because I couldn't get off work, just chill at the house. So that was actually a lot of fun. And then you even brought your rats. I was afraid my mom wouldn't let you bring your rats.
Oh, I forgot about them. Yeah, I did have them too. Remember when we went skateboarding?
Oh yeah, we did go skateboard, and we were with Amber Lynn too. I think that was the first time you met Amber Lynn.
Yeah, that was at the time.
That was fun because because we stayed out until it was really dark, and those golf cart paths have no lights.
Right.
So it was super kind of creepy, but it was kind of fun still. So.
Oh yeah, it's always fun.
And then I don't think I had the skateboard, but I'm pretty sure I didn't ride it at all. I may have sat on it when we went down a big hill.
Oh yeah, something like that. We were all just kind of. I'm not a fantastic skateboarder.
I think you had the most skills out of the 3 of us. I had the least skill out of the 3 of us.
I can't even drop it in a quarter pipe or anything. Like, I'm not a skateboarder type.
Oh, there was a skateboard park in that area somewhere. Like, not exactly the area that we were in, but in Peachtree City. We could have totally checked that out. That would have been cool. Oh well. And then you stalled another time when we were all in your car.
I mean, it happens. This is like a normal thing.
Oh, but it's funny that it happened with people.
Okay, so to be fair, I had a lot of passengers at that point.
I was sitting in the trunk, I think.
No, you weren't, because that
there
was
was so
illegal.
many people. There was someone in the trunk.
No. Doesn't sound like me.
Unsaid rules. Don't mention when you have more than one person. When you have too many people in the car, don't say this
stuff on live recording, you know? Live recording is an oxymoron. No, but like, to be fair, I can feel the weight in my car when I have just one other person too. Like, when you get a car that's like 2,000 pounds or so, and then you gotta think we had 5 people in there. If we're each 100 pounds, that's 500 pounds. That's a quarter of the car's weight. And that's lowballing it.
Don't be saying my weight on live.
I gave you 100 pounds. That's pretty good. Take it or leave it. That's like a lowball. Everybody, you know.
Oh, a lowball. I see how it is.
50, I'll say. Well, I'm 140, 145. I'm a thin guy.
I gained a lot of weight.
So let's say it was 5 of me. If it's 5 of me, that's like 700 pounds, 750 even? No, it's like 650, I think.
I
got a
don't do
calculator
math
right here.
since college now.
Look at this. Let's see if I was right. 140, I'll say, times 5 of me. That's 700 pounds. I was right on the money.
Oh, nice.
I
Okay.
was off twice. I said 650 and 750. Right, if you average them.
Unsaid rules. When you have if you have more than 4 people in the back seat, someone's gonna go across the lap, not just all squished in on the seat. I think that's happened. We did that one time. In college, you don't take more than 2 cars. That could be an unsaid kind of driving rule. When in college, you don't take more than 2 cars to go places. You just have to learn to squish in there.
Yeah, as many friends as I did, you had to take 4 or 5 cars.
I met so-called all of your friends. There wasn't that many of them.
I meet all my friends.
I was hanging out with you a lot. When did you meet these so-called
I got
friends?
a lot of friend groups.
Those are called
Peers.
peers, yeah. Fellow students. They're not your friends. Don't spit all over the place now.
What are you talking about?
I saw you drinking, and then you start to laugh.
I wasn't spit. I'd already swallowed.
Oh, you swallowed, huh?
Wow.
Here it is. Okay.
I got another one. Speaking of drinks, whenever you put your cup holder in, I think the driver has to get preference of the cup holder. Which one? Like, do you want the front one or the back one? It's like, which one do you go for? Okay, usually I put mine in the back. Because A, you don't want to grab the other guy's drink by accident. And think, oops, this is like not what I was drinking. And then also, like, that's where my hand goes. You can adjust. You can adapt. This is the one I use,
Yeah, exactly. And but if they want to put their drink in first, fine. Then you just have to accept if I accidentally drink your drink.
I mean, I guess, but
that's where I put my drink at. That's my normal reaching spot that I put my drink in.
But what if you don't want my strawberry acai unsweet tea?
Unsweet? Oh, okay.
Yes.
I get first preference of where I'm sticking my drink.
Another one is if you have a drink and there's like an opening, like that can you're drinking. Let me see the top of that can. Is that like a pop tab?
Yeah.
You have to put the spout towards the front of the car so that if I floor it, the liquid pushes towards the back and it doesn't spill. Because I'm not going to slam on the brakes, but I will floor it. So you always have to put the spout
For
towards
me,
the
it has
front.
to be reversed because I will slam on the brakes.
Sometimes you put it sideways, so it'll kind of compensate either way. But it's not too great because I like to whip the car around sideways too.
That's a good point, though. I would have never thought about that. I just get liquid all over the place.
I've seen it on the car guy memes. There's a group I'm in. They post memes and stuff, and I've definitely seen that.
So you're in car groups, and I'm in Funko Pop groups.
Yeah, different hobbies.
We're a pair.
Yeah. I haven't spent any money on my car in a while, actually. Despite wanting to.
Have spent money on Funko Pop recently, so...
No, I gotta...
That's not the case for me. Okay,
Nope.
so, okay.
I need to buy tires, though.
I have to get windshield wipers. I noticed that because it's raining here in California. I know, shocking. And it's gonna rain all the way until, like, Tuesday, I think, too.
Nice, that's pretty good.
So I have an unsaid should-be law kind of thing for the rain.
Yeah.
It is okay to drive over 35 miles per hour, especially when you're on the interstate.
Yeah.
That drives me crazy.
I mean, it depends. A little bit of rain, your tires should be able to handle up to, like... Actually, they say that you cannot hydroplane if you're going 35. Like, it's impossible. It's too slow.
Really? Oh, that's interesting.
But, like, come on. Do, like, 50, 55 at least.
On the interstate, come on, man. Yeah, at least go... Like, you should... When it's raining, if you want to go slower, that's understandable. But never below 5 miles under the speed limit. Maybe I'll give you a little bit of leeway for 10.
Sometimes when it's, like, torrential downpour and you can't even see, and that's, like, okay, at that point, like, you literally can't.
Okay, well, that's different, but it doesn't do that here in California.
Yeah, like, I'm from Florida. It definitely does that. You'll be driving, and it's just, like so much you can see the rain blowing sideways, and it's, like, you can't see 20 feet in front of you. There's just so much rain, and you're just, like, okay. And you get people to put their blinkers on, but you're not supposed to put your blinkers on, or your hazards on. That's just distracting, and we can't see your brake lights, you know? Seeing your brake lights come on is more important than knowing you're there. We know you're there. Just put your lights on. That's the law. That is a law, actually. You said no
yeah,
laws.
that is a law.
But everyone does it anyway.
A law that should be brought up because people seem to think it's an unsaid, and it's not. It's a law. You have to put your lights on when it rains.
It is because of the brake lights. I need to know if your brake lights are coming on, because when they're flashing, I'm ignoring your brake lights.
And it's like, that's what drives me crazy too. There's been a couple of times where I've almost hit the person in front of me because they don't have their lights on, so I didn't see them. And it's like, if you have your windshield wipers going, that means your lights need to be on.
Yeah, lights, that is a law too. Lights are on if rain is on.
Yeah, and so, but those are laws. I feel like those should still be mentioned anyways, because people seem to think that they're not laws, but they are.
Your headlights probably turn on by themselves, though, if there's too much rain.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, so do mine.
So that's really nice. One of the times when I was first driving, in my little Echo, this is my Echo so much, the lights didn't turn on automatically. I almost got hit because I didn't realize my lights were not on.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Dangerous.
So, because also my car is like, it was a dark gray, so.
That's a hard color to see when the torrential downpour is coming down.
Oh, it wasn't raining, it just was dark.
Yeah, that's tough too. I got a white car now.
But say if you're going so less underneath the speed limit, especially on the interstate, then you do have someone who's going the speed limit. Now they have to try to slam on their brakes because you come up and you're going super slow. And then that's even more chances for you to hydroplane.
And lift off oversteer. If you're going and it's wet and then you brake, you pitch the weight of your car forward and it puts the weight over the front wheels. And now your back wheels have less traction and you can slide back and forth. It's very dangerous.
Oh. Yeah,
it's called
sounds
lift
very
off
dangerous.
oversteer. It's pretty bad. Bad in the rain too. It's hit me. I almost crashed once. I managed to save it, but I do a lot of I play VR racing all the time, so I know how to watch that stuff.
Mm-hmm. So don't go too slow. I have a couple of points for when you're riding with me. Unsaid rules.
For riding with you specifically.
Well, one of them is definitely specifically for me.
So that's like a house rule, not a societal rule.
I feel like it should be a societal rule. And I think for some people it is. I think for most people it is. But definitely for me. Because it deals with your feet. And I hate feet. So it's like top priority for me. I feel like for everyone else it's an unsaid rule too. But for me it's like law. Don't do it. Don't put your feet on my dashboard.
Don't put your feet on my dashboard either. Do not do it.
Don't do it. Sometimes I've drove and I've seen people with their feet on the dashboard.
Or out the window. It's like, oh my gosh. Are you a savage? I'll bet they poop in a hole.
Yeah, exactly. So I just, don't do it. Especially for me, I hate feet. I wear socks and shoes all the time. I don't even like looking at my own feet. Don't put your feet on my dashboard. You're
a little weird about feet. I'm not really that weird. I'm just kind of
I am super weird about it. Don't even touch me with your feet. So like I said, it's like law for me. Everyone else, it's like this unsaid rule. It's law. Don't do it. For me. Don't do it.
I'll pull this car over. You put your feet on the pavement.
You can walk. And then another one is don't leave trash in my car. If you have trash, it needs to leave when you leave my car.
Sometimes you forget though. You put it in a weird spot, but yeah, you should definitely try and take it. Because do you keep your car kind of clean, or are you a statistic? We'll stay.
I guess I'm a statistic. Okay, if it's my trash, it's my trash. But you know what? I don't want other people's trash on my car. It's one of those things that okay, if my car is dirty, it's my fault it's dirty. I don't want it to be because of someone else in my car, that's why my car is dirty.
Right.
That's understandable. Yeah, you're right. Sometimes you may forget. But if you come back in my car, and I hadn't had a chance to take out that trash, and you see it, then you better take it this time.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
And I have a couple others, but let's see. Do you have any, Jacob?
So here's one that I don't always follow, but... So this could go either way. So
you savage.
It kind of depends. There's two mindsets here. This is about the aux cord, or in this day and age, hooking up your Bluetooth to the speakers. So I've heard it said that hey, it's my car, it's my music, and so the driver gets to pick. However, I also like the idea that if you want to be generous on a road trip or something, you say, okay, I'll drive, you DJ. And then they get to hook up the music. Where do you stand, or are you an it depends kind of person too?
I prefer to play my own music. And usually that's the excuse I give to my brothers, because my brothers like to play rap. I don't want to listen to that. And not only that, but some rap can be good.
What about you give them a genre though, and then they get to do it?
Oh, that's true. Sometimes we do that. Me and my brother, we actually created a Pandora playlist.
Nice.
Where I picked a couple songs that I liked, and he picked a couple songs that he likes, and of course Pandora picks songs that are similar to both. So, of course, we'll play different songs. So usually, like, especially if I, like, just not feeling it at all, I don't want to listen to their songs. So, I will a lot of times like to play my own music, and most of the time my brothers have their headphones in anyways.
Right.
So it doesn't even matter. Sometimes they don't even care, because that means they have to take, because one of my brother has the iPhone,
Right.
so that means he's got to unplug his headphones and kind of plug up his, and that's too much hassle. He'd just rather just have his headphones in.
Yeah.
But for me, I definitely think it should probably be driver, I guess. I will occasionally let my brothers DJ, and that's just because if I don't let them DJ, then they'll have their headphones in, and then I'm talking to myself the whole drive.
Oh, yeah.
So if it's a long drive, I'll let them DJ just so I'm not talking to myself.
That's funny.
So that's where I stand, at least. Short trips is all me. Long trips, okay. Then you can DJ so I don't talk to myself.
Usually I'm listening to some sort of rock or heavy metal. Paul Troy, Mars Volta, or
dubstep.
No, I don't really listen to dubstep anymore.
You grew out of that phase? I still listen to it. It's all because of you, too.
It's hard to find. I don't appreciate new stuff, and the old stuff is gone.
Oh, are you getting to that age already, Jacob?
For sure. Oh, hard. Yeah, it's already there.
Back in my day.
I like synthwave now. I'm very much a victim of this fad as well. The pinks and the blues and all the little, like, dark stuff, like Carpenter Brute or stuff like that.
You're speaking a foreign language, I feel like. I have no clue what just came out your mouth.
If you listen to this stuff, you know who he is.
So, I have one, which I feel like is a big unsaid don't do, but so many people do it. And some of it probably is you just don't realize it, or you're not just paying attention, but don't pull out in front of me if there's no one behind me.
Or floor it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, or floor it, exactly. And like,
I'll pull some tough stuff, but I guarantee you I won't be in your way. I had some lady honk at me because I pulled out, but like, she didn't even catch me. Like, if she floored it and tried to hit me, I was close, and yeah, I maybe shouldn't have gone. But it was if I didn't go, I was gonna have to wait a long time. So it was like,
oh, so Jacob's one of these people that do this sunset rule.
No, but here's the thing: she honked at me, but she wasn't even close. Like, I stepped on it, and I was gone. And like, she honked, but like, I was already gone. Like, you're too late. You were too slow for honking at me. Like, don't even worry.
You're too slow.
Yeah, I was already out of your way.
So, and yeah, that's another thing. Don't pull out in front of someone and then go slow.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But I feel like, I mean, especially here in, like, California, they have, like, cars on the side of the road. Crazy thing. That's where you park. I hate that. In Georgia, there's parking lots everywhere. But, and so when you go out, like, sometimes you have to chance it because you can't see around the car that's parked on the side. So, I mean, I guess that's kind of understandable, like, if they pull out in front of you, even though you have no one behind you, just because they didn't know you were there. But, like, if you see me coming, you're like, oh, I can make it, but there's no one behind me, then just wait the couple seconds for me to go!
Yeah, then why did you even do that? Why did you do this to me?
Just wait. Like, and then not only that, but then I get a little mini heart attack because you went out in front of me! Yeah, I never noticed this in Georgia, but I notice it a lot here, which is crazy, because there's interstates everywhere here. But some people will stop when merging. What are you doing? Especially on the ramp. Go! Like, it's okay to, like, speed up or slow down in a way, but don't stop. Your foot should not be on that brake.
Right. I heard it said that, like, if you're braking for no reason on the interstate, you should just have your driver's license taken away. That was Jeremy Clarkson said that.
Oh yeah, you should definitely not be braking on an interstate. I mean,
if something's in front of you, yeah, but it's just for no reason, don't do that.
Yeah, because like here in California, you have a lot of traffic, so obviously you're going to brake. Yeah, if there's no one in front of you, don't be braking, because there's a couple of, like, pretty big hills here, and it drives me crazy when you're going down the hill and people are braking. There's no one in front of you. Don't brake, because everyone else behind you is not braking, and they're speeding up because we're all going downhill. Don't brake! Oh, especially coming back from my mom's, because she's got a huge hill. Oh, and you see so many people braking, And then not only that, but then people are like, oh no! And so then they try to go over to the next lane, and they cut it too close, and so then they're braking, and like, well, they actually have reason to brake, and...
The disaster waiting to happen.
It does, like, you do usually see, like, a couple accidents here, and that's just because you don't know how to go downhill. And it starts with that one person. And you know what's sad? Is a lot of times, that one person is not the one that ends up in the accident.
Oh, yeah. They ruin it for everybody else.
Yeah.
And you go, wow, I got so lucky. See, those people were going way too fast. It's a good thing I was braking, or I might have crashed too.
Yeah, and you know, the thing is like, and they're causing all these problems in the back, and guess what? They're just driving along, and they probably don't even know they just caused an accident because they're going too slow.
Just putting along.
Or whatever. They're just putting along. And that also makes me think about, you're driving down the interstate. Yes, there may be a lot of traffic or whatever, but you're driving, and you see the sign that says these 2 lanes to go off to the next interstate. Okay, you know, the off-ramp for the next interstate. You see the 2 signs. It even has the arrows saying these are the 2 lanes that are gonna go.
Right.
And these people from the lane all the way on the left, they wait until they can see the ramp to start to get over.
Oh, that's my exit. Just turn the wheel.
It's like 3 miles back.
Good luck, everybody.
You're supposed to be in those lanes. Exactly. Oh, that's what happened to me today. And I was like, it's raining, and you're doing this. Like, you already shouldn't be doing this. This guy finally got onto the ramp when the lanes are already split. You know, like, has, like, that kind of, like, gap.
Yeah.
Where the lines, like, now it's got, like, the little triangle island.
There's a word for that. I forget what it's called. It's like the boon or something.
I mean, that's when he finally did merge over after going on. And it's like, dude, it's raining and you're doing this? Are you crazy? Like, oh. And then those are the people that get through and they cause the accident all in the back. And they're already gone. They don't even know. Not that that person did do it, but that does, like, happen. So I think that's probably actually a said law that you can't... Well, definitely crossing over that little section that she said, whatever it's called, that's definitely a law not to do. But the part about moving over a good distance back before your ramp comes up is definitely a law. I'm pretty positive.
For sure. Called a gore.
Gore. Oh, okay.
There's a name for that. There's a name for everything.
That's actually a pretty cool name for it. Don't enter the gore.
And then you see people park there, and it's like, oh, they don't know what they're doing.
Oh, I know, that drives me crazy.
I mean, they're out of the way. That is an emergency runoff, though.
Yeah, but, I mean, I've seen people who are parked there because they missed their exit.
Yeah, and they're flipping to their GPS trying to figure out, well, like, I don't know where, I don't know this place. They're freaking out. Their blood pressure's, like, up to their neck, you know?
Get off at the next exit and turn around.
Yeah, that's what you should do. Yeah, never swerve. Your GPS will redirect you. Assuming we're using GPS. We are taking for granted that we have technology. They might be using a map.
Yeah, once again, it's still very easy to get off at the exit and then
not always. Sometimes you go and it's like you're on a road for like 10 miles before the next exit. Probably not where you're at, but
yeah,
I've definitely done that down here where it's like, oh, I missed my exit. I gotta go like 5 miles to the next like suburb or whatever.
Yeah, I've had to do that before. Or I've gone off an exit that was a non-return back onto the interstate.
That's when you just put it in reverse.
My check engine light came off, so I had to turn off at whatever exit came up. But at that point, then you're able to put it into your GPS because you're already off the interstate. But I was talking more along the lines of people who are sitting in this gore because traffic is so bad they missed their exit. Oh. So now they're waiting to get back into that lane. And it's like, dude, you're not supposed to be there. Like, seriously, go down to the next exit. You missed it. That's your fault. You shouldn't have been all the way over there. You should have been in that lane already.
That's funny. I've cut across the gore a couple of times. Safely. Hey, gotta do what you gotta do. I noticed that my driving became a little more, not erratic, I'll say, but I'm just like, before I started playing Grand Theft Auto, I would never have done that. Now I'm like, I'm just gonna do it. Because I'm not gonna drive all the way around, stop at the stoplight, turn and go all the way around. I'm like, I'm not hurting anybody. It's victimless crime. No, I never did that. Public record.
Yeah, and I see how you just blame a Grand Theft Auto.
I didn't blame it. I said that's where I learned.
Oh,
you think about it, like, okay, so imagine you're the only person in the world. Like, all the other cars just blink, 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 and they all just disappear. Just drive where you want. Hop that curb. Just go up the hill. You take the grass at an angle. Like, the world is your oyster, you know? That's what people in trucks think. Like, that's what they just do all the time. Oh, I'm just gonna go over there. Bonk. That's them driving over the curb. That's
one thing. If your vehicle has more than 4 wheels, don't be in the carpool lane. Like, that's not a law, but that should be. Like, it doesn't matter how many people are in your your vehicle, if your car is like a super big one, you should not be in the carpool lane.
Oh, I'm not familiar with this carpool lane. I think that's an LA thing. I mean, there's the HOV lane.
It's almost like the same thing.
Yeah, what's wrong with like a dually truck being in there?
Because it's supposed to be like the faster lane.
Yeah, what if they're
not going fast?
Yeah, they might be. Yeah, if they're not going fast, I'd say just go in the middle of the other lane, you know?
Like the semi-trucks are in like the second from the left lane or something. When they're too far over, they should just always be in like the very far right, or if there's like 4 lanes, they could be in the second one. But never be any more than that, too. Because then you definitely have traffic forming there. Because you have people who are going a little bit faster than the semi-truck. They go over into the next lane to go around the semi-truck. Now everyone's slamming on the brakes because this person's slow. They should be in the slow lane. But now they went over a lane because they don't want to be behind the semi. And you even have some that don't go faster than the semi-truck. But they don't want to be behind the semi-truck.
Right.
So they go into the next lane. It's like, no. You need to be behind the semi-truck. You're not going fast enough. If the semi truck was behind you, he would get over and go around you because you're going so slow. You need to be in that lane, regardless if there's a semi truck.
How dare you? That's funny.
I think it's unsaid rule. Buses and all that stuff should not be in the carpool lane, whether you have more people because you're slowing down traffic.
Yep.
Though the bus I ride goes into it, so I guess that should, I don't know.
You're a hypocrite. You're not driving, so that's fine. You need to tell your driver, you need to stay out of the express lane.
Well, okay, but the lane that we're in is not even a carpool lane, it's a paid lane.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
I think that should be an exception because the bus obviously pays to be in that lane. No, the city pays for the bus to be in that lane.
Right.
There's not that many people in that lane to begin with, so usually the bus is booking, it's not going slow anyways.
Yeah.
And it's constantly getting in and out because they have stops along that. Whereas if you're in the carpool lane and you're stuck behind a bus or a bigger car, not car, but like truck or whatever, you're stuck behind them. You have to try to hop out of the carpool lane to get back into the carpool lane. Whereas the bus is going to naturally already go out. At least my bus does.
Right.
Every few stops. I only have one thing left. So I don't know if you have anything else.
Don't crash your cars. Just stop doing it.
If you did something and it cost your car, you to get into an accident, I think it was an unsaid or an actual written law that you did something wrong. Okay, so I guess we can leave with this last point.
What you got?
Now, this is not really, it's like kind of like an unsaid law, but it's not really a social etiquette in any way. So this has stopped me from getting into a couple accidents. It's not very prevalent. If I'm using that word right, yeah. I'm trying to be smart. It's not very prevalent in California. It was more useful in Georgia or pretty much anywhere else that has a lot of deer. And I didn't say deers because I used to say deers all the time. And that's not right. It sounds right. It's not right. It's just deer. You just don't ever know if you're talking about more than one deer. Anyways, I guess really any big animal that goes out. No, it only pertains to deer.
Lions and tigers and bears, oh my.
No, just deer. And my mom taught it to me, so for those that have to drive with deer, remember that deer usually travel in groups, so 2 or more.
Huh.
If you see a deer go across the street, or you see a deer on the side of the street, don't just be like, oh, it's not in my way, and floor it still. Slow down, because a second deer probably is going to cross the street.
Right. That's an interesting point.
Yeah, it's a very good point. It's like an unsaid thing for me. An unsaid kind of rule for deer. Social etiquette for deer is they travel more fast. My mom taught it to me when I was like first driving. It actually has saved me a couple of times. Not so much that, I guess, saved me in particular, but at least saved my car.
Well, yeah, it definitely could save you too. That'll really mess up you and your car.
Probably could have helped my aunt out if she knew this, because she's hit, not in her new one as far as I know, but she has hit 3 deer in 3 different cars.
Wow.
Though she claims one of them hit her. But it has saved me. There's been a couple of times where if I saw one deer, I slowed down, and sure enough, another deer came across the street.
Yeah, I've seen that before, too. There's also another thing about if you have to swerve, do you go behind the deer, or do you try and go in front of it? And there's like a difference between when you like testing tires and testing vehicles. There's something called a moose test, because a moose will not turn around. It's just going to keep going. So if you see a moose, you go behind it. You want to swerve behind it because it's going to keep going where it's going to go. But I think an elk test, maybe, and I might be wrong, is where you go for the front of it because it's more likely to turn around and go back.
Oh, I didn't know that. I think with the deer, that they have the deer in the headlights kind of thing. They just stand there. So I don't think it matters either or.
But if they're not moving, hey, that's fine. But do you swerve in front of them or behind them?
Probably. I guess it depends on if it's a doe or a buck. Because, like, if it's a buck, I'm not going in the front of it. If it's stuck, it's not moving, I'm not going in the front of it. It's got all those horns. I'm going to hit the butt.
That's a good way to think about it. But then you spin him around and his head comes into your side mirror. You're done. Antlers to the face.
Well, that's depending on which. If I'm hitting it with the passenger side of the butt, it's going to come into the passenger side.
I guess.
And if I'm going by myself,
yeah, that's true. It depends. I'm assuming he's going right to left because that's the one time I saw it. Happened to me. I was coming home, but I just hit the brakes. I had enough space. My brakes went.
Well, see, even then, you couldn't really hit the front of the deer at that point because now you're going into the other person's lane. So now you're going to hit the deer and hit the person that's driving.
No, I just broke in time. It was fine. I reacted.
I had one person that said, and I don't think this is true, but this is what they told me that supposedly they heard, was that a lot of times when you see a deer and it's in your way, you want to slam on your brakes. Supposedly, they said that you don't slam on your brakes, you speed up. Like, if you're going to hit the deer anyways, speed up.
Huh, why's that?
I don't know. She said she didn't know why either. I'd have to probably do more research and figure that out.
Yeah, I would definitely want a cited source on that.
I guess I can kind of see that. If you hit it with enough oomph, then it probably won't go through your windshield. It might go over your car.
I mean, depending on how fast you go, you could just turn it into some red mist, and it's just like going through a cloud.
True that. No damage to the car at all. Or maybe because, like, if you're slamming on the brakes, then you're going to hit the deer anyways, but now you're jerking forward, and the deer's coming in through your windshield.
Maybe. I guess. I don't know.
I don't know what it was.
You just need to get a really big snow plow that just goes on the front of your Sonic. And then you can just like a big wedge like the trains have in like Red Dead Redemption. You just splash them.
Get out of my way on the freeway.
Did you paint your car? Well, kind of.
Okay, so I guess we'll end it right there.
Yeah, on that bombshell.
Yeah! On the bombshell that we're gonna go and, like, ram people through. No, I'm just kidding.
Alright.
We never came up with a name, so I guess we'll figure out a name later.
We'll call it Splash Deer Podcast.
Splash Deer Podcast. Exactly, guys. That's what we call that. Now, when I load it up to wherever we decide to load it, probably, Podbean. But when we load it up, it will have a name, guys. Don't worry. And it will have a Twitter with that said name. Or if it has a different name, I will put it in the description because most places let you have a description for your podcast.
Yeah.
And so check out our Twitter that we will have eventually.
Smash that like button.
Just smash the like button. Follow us on Twitter. I will do an email as well. And so you can send topics that you think we should talk about unsaid rules for. You can drop some of your own unsaid rules for said topic that we already did. Or another topic.
We'll talk about anything. We're basically just performing monkeys.
This is true. This is true. I am Little Eva Green Monkey. Well, until next time, guys! Hopefully we'll also have an intro and ending song courtesy of Jacob.